I'm Brett Kaczynski with the Parks and Recreation Department. We're here today at Mount Hope Cemetery. I'm here with Mayor Shore on National Visit a Cemetery Day, and we're out here visiting very old cemetery, Mount Hope Cemetery. A lot of history here, and we'll see a little bit of that with our historical marker. But first of all, welcome.
Well, I'm excited. And when you come into a cemetery like Mount Hope or Evergreen, you get to see the history of our city.
So yeah, we have how many cemeteries?
We have 3.
Very good. So yeah, we have Evergreen and Mount Hope, which the mayor just mentioned. We also have North on the south end of Lansing off Miller Road. And really, cemeteries tell a big history, as you said, about it, but we also have a lot of individuals that use the cemeteries as a park.
Sure.
And this area behind me holds usually a lot of runners that come through because this is on the Mason Esker. And so Lansing, we're not blessed with a lot of hills. And this has some, obviously, here.
Also, this is where the river trail comes through. So during the pandemic, my wife and I, we spanned the whole river trail. Wherever we can get time, we would go for a run, and we came right this way, and we came through, and we went right through the cemetery. It was actually really cool to run through the cemetery and see all the history. So you can use Lansing's river trail, come right into Mount Hope Cemetery.
So yeah, a lot of elevation here that again you don't see in many places of Lansing. And so we're here under the arch, and we're going to take a tour of the rest of the cemetery for you. So enjoy. We're here just inside the cemetery at one of our state historical markers. And we have several of these within not only the city, but especially within the Parks and Recreation system. I know we have one at Durant Park for Billy Durant. We have one at Wentworth Park for the Kearns Hotel fire. We have one in Riverfront Park. There's an old Newsboys one down at Washington and Michigan. So we have several of these around the city, and
we have one for Malcolm X.
Yes.
We have one for Malcolm X on MLK, where he lived when he was Malcolm Little.
Yep. So a lot of historical markers that really tell the history of Lansing here. And this one is unique, I think, because this wasn't originally a cemetery. It was a farm. And our original cemetery was at Oak Park. And when you read this, you understand that roughly 1,000 graves were moved from Oak Park to here, which I cannot imagine the work at that time, because you're not talking about machinery, you're talking about hand digging, you're talking about horses, you're talking about moving that, and quite an undertaking to bring that all here. So yeah, on the other side of this historical marker talks about many of the pioneers again, and unique individuals that are laid to rest here in the cemetery. George Ranney is mentioned over there, who was R.E. Olds,
the founder of Oldsmobile. He is buried right down the road here.
Yep.
Was the gentleman who assisted in getting John Wilkes Booth, who was the person who assassinated President Lincoln, one of the folks who helped to bring him in.
Always a unique thing too, if you're interested in history, just Google where the historical markers are and make trips to kind of see those things, because they're very interesting facts about our city. We're here at the Weller Monument, and a little bit of history on this is that this headstone was missing for 146 years. It was found on a public auction site. It was actually used to make fudge. The back side is very smooth on here. It obviously was refurbished, but interesting facts that, yeah, you will find these on auction sites, etc. These are private property of the families, and so oftentimes we're always asked, how can we right or fix monuments that have fallen over or repaired? And that's really not the city's role in that, because these are private property. And therefore, we do have rules and regulations on them, but you'll see that there's a lot of variety in what people have on their headstones, the shape of them, the size, all of that. And you really see a lot about somebody on their headstone, just trying to get those last final words for people to remember them by.
Yeah, and there are monument companies where people buy these and then they work with the city. But the question for you, Brett, is was this used for 146 years to make fudge?
That I don't know. That I don't know. We need to.
Years of fudge?
It was lost for 146 years, but it could have.
It could have.
It could have properly cared for. I'm sure it could have made many bricks of fudge, pounds.
Pounds of fudge.
Pounds of fudge.
And now you know.
So we are here at J.W. Potter's, and this is the Potter family. So when you know Potter Park Zoo, you live very close to the Potter
I did.
house.
I live close to the Potter house. In my neighborhood, I lived right down the street from Potter Park and the Potter Park Zoo for 10 years in the Sycamore Park neighborhood. We all know the name Potter here in Lansing. If you've done anything, again, if you've gone to the zoo, if you've gone to some of the historic, house is huge. It's a very famous family.
And I think that's also when we talk about how parks were established here. Potter, Moores, you know, Ranney is right behind us, and Dr. Ranney has a very unique story on his monument there. And we're in section F, as in Frank, of Mount Hope Cemetery. And just within eyesight here, we have Ranney, Sparrow of Sparrow Hospital, and then here at Potter. So three very big names, obviously, in the city of Lansing, and really then that have dedicated themselves, I guess, to ongoing legacies, whether that be with the land they donated or the hospital, etc.
And you can see how they have the big monument, and then they have the individual members of the family here. We've got that throughout the cemetery, so you can see the different Potters, the 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5 different members of the Potter family that are buried right here with the enormous monument.
So we're here at box 23, and Mayor, you're here every Memorial Day.
Every year. So we do a ceremony with our firefighters, and we talk about the firefighters that have passed, certainly those that have passed from natural causes, but the box here recognizes the firefighters that have died on duty. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, we've got the 6 here, which are everywhere from 1870 to 2005, and on the other side we have our most recent, who is Dennis Rodeman, who was killed as part of a firefighter collection. They were collecting money for a charity, and he was run down in the street. It was a tragedy. Many of us remember it. Many of us were at the funeral. It's been 10 years, but firefighter Rodeman is memorialized here, and we actually have him memorialized in one of our fire stations. Again, many of our firefighters knew him. But as you look at these, you know, we even have the second one is Unknown Fireman in 1880. And they talk about that, where this person went in, was fighting a fire and died. But as we go back and look at the records, we don't know the name. So we want to honor that we had a death in the ranks. So we list it as Unknown Fireman of 1880. But it's important for this box here, and they have a fund that goes along with box 23. And it's important to recognize that every year. This is how we remember those who have laid down their lives, especially in service to the city.
And that unknown was Christmas Eve.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was Christmas Eve, and that was at the Kearns Hotel fire. So right in where Wentworth Park is now, that was the Kearns Hotel fire, and obviously a big blaze that took the lives of many individuals in that. So yeah. We are also, I am holding in my hands part of a catalpa tree. And one of the things obviously about our parks, but especially about our cemeteries, because of the age of the cemeteries, we have many state record trees in and around Lansing, especially here in Mount Hope, even some at Evergreen. The catalpa tree, where's the largest one in the nation?
Capital.
The capital. Very good.
Our
And so-
capital.
Yep.
Our state capital.
Michigan's capital, right across the street from your office. It's being held up by some wire, some supports. But yeah, when you see these long bean-like and huge leaves, that is the catalpa tree. And so another, obviously a great time of year to be out in the parks when you're talking trees with the fall colors, but especially when you're looking for large trees of certain species, the parks and the cemeteries are a great place for you.
Yeah, our Parks Director has not prepped me with these questions, so I am getting these right. I am now 2 for 2.
You did very well.
Without him telling me in advance.
Good job. You know, they take these and they sell them, the seeds, every year from the state tree, kind of like
I did. In fact,
large pumpkins.
in fact, I did know that because they gave us some one
Oh,
year in
yeah?
the legislature, and we planted them in our backyard.
Look at this. I mean, this probably isn't even a big one, but man,
Yeah.
these are, yeah.
So I'm almost positive Aaron planted the seeds from the catalpa tree, and we've got
Yeah.
one in our yard. Small.
Yep.
Did you really just
It
put that
is.
on your head?
It's,
You can't.
it's like a rain shelter.
Oh, you could take the boy out of Ohio, but you
Yeah.
can't take Ohio out of the boy.
Man, this is just,
Smooth.
you know, yeah. And this is,
there's a car up here.
it's the same way.
There's a Matchbox car.
Somebody put that there.
No kidding.
I'm taking that.
Take it down. Take it down before we do this. This is Ari Old's Matchbox car. Transformer. It's a Transformer. Is it at least an Oldsmobile?
I don't think so.
I don't think it is
Is
either.
it?
I
No.
don't think so.
Looks like a Ford Mustang.
For your blooper reel, Brett finds a toy. In his pocket. He's bringing it home.
Some might argue the most famous place in Mount Hope Cemetery is the Ari Oles Mausoleum here, with Ari Oles and some of his family members in behind me. And you see the large area or footprint, I guess, that this takes up. So we do not allow mausoleums or this large of monuments in our cemetery any longer, but you do have some of these. We saw Pruden before. But yeah, this is really a lot of Lansing's history is right here with Ari Oles.
Yeah, you talk about Lansing is a car city, right? We have GM, we have 2 assembly plants. It's part of our history, but Oldsmobile is really the earliest part of our history. When you talk about the Diamond Olds buildings, and you talk about Ari Olds founding his company right here in Lansing, and then everything from being here, living here, working here, and then having a mausoleum built. He really is one of our most famous historical citizens. We've got a few, don't get me wrong, but one of our most famous historical citizens this is where he is laid to rest. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, large enough that you can see as you're driving down Mount Hope, or even really Aurelius for that matter. It really stands out here in the cemetery, and very well cared for by the family and the foundation in terms of how old this is and how well it looks. As Mayor and I were just commenting on that, and very beautiful.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know that this is here. It's something that we like to talk about. The history buffs know, and people who've been in Lansing, but when you move into Lansing, you don't realize that Ari Olds is here, and that this is where the founder of Oldsmobile is laid to rest. So it's a pretty cool fact that we get to share with folks who may not know it. And then from time to time people will come and visit it. Again, I had mentioned before that my wife and I literally were running on the river trail and decided to take a right and come into the cemetery and run through the cemetery, and there it was, and we didn't know. So it's really cool for people to see and to understand that this kind of history you can stand on it. You can be right here in this kind of history.
And it's neat when they bring in some of the vehicles from the Ari Oles Transportation Museum. They have lined them up here whether it's the famed curved dash,
Right.
but it is neat to see that history and then to bring it to this location too. We do have another monument for Orioles in the parks, and that's at Kalamazoo Plaza. And so that would be pretty much at the corner of Kalamazoo and Cedar. It would be at the southwest corner, very close to where the new city hall is going.
That's right. Yep. That's right where the Lansing Housing Commission is. We're going to have new housing, and we're going to have a new city hall. So we'll be right near Orioles. It's exciting.
Yep.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our tour of Mount Hope Cemetery, some of the famous people that are here, and just the cemetery in general. Remember, today is Visit a Cemetery Day, but this is one of our really cool pieces of history. It's one of the assets that we have in Lansing. We're proud to support this cemetery, and we really encourage everyone to come visit, check out the history, check out the monuments, check out the different years that people are from, bring your kids, bring friends. It's just one more cool thing that you can do in Lansing amongst so many things. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. We're
Thank-
going to wrap it there.
Thanks.
We're going to wrap it there.
All right.
They'll edit that out.
You will now.
Yeah.